The Philadelphia Eagles have lost another game, but at least this one was kind of close. I mean, we almost had it, right? Kind of felt like if we had that last drive, maybe something would have changed, but the defense failed us. So I want to talk a little bit about this defense and see if there's any changes that need to be imminently happening.
Here's some things we can focus on. 1, we tried hard. And 2, we're still dear friends.
What's going on, you guys? It's your boy Joe Castro, aka Philly Fresco, and it is Philly the podcast. So I do want to talk about this defense. I do want to talk about Gannon. I want to talk about these cornerbacks and see what we can do moving forward. Now, before we do that, be sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe, join the family on the road to 3K. Would love for you guys to join that ride. So let me get into it, man. JG, Mr. Gannon, Mr. I want everybody to fall back 10 yards before you even make a play. Now, I just went live. A lot of people are blaming the system. Some people are blaming the players. Some people are blaming a little bit of both. I fall with the latter. I think that it's a little bit of everything that's going wrong. This offense obviously had a really good game for once. This offense really put it together, and I feel like these past 2 weeks, they've been figuring out their identity and how to win some football games, but it now comes down to the defense. The defense has thrown away a game that could have been a really big statement game for us, and I've said this before. I think that the Eagles defense has shut down quarterbacks that it should shut down. If you look at our wins, they're against a Matt Ryan who's out of his prime. They're against a Jared Goff who isn't really that great with a team that's not really that great. Against a Sam Darnold who I think we're all seeing who Sam Darnold really is. And you look at this game and we put up a good fight against a Justin Herbert-led team who Justin Herbert to me is not a bad player at all. He's a very good quarterback and something that we could hope that we can get soon as a quarterback. But that's not what this is about. Either way, I think that if you look at this team and their philosophy, it goes back to further than this year. If you look at what Jim Schwartz did with this defense, if you look at even before that, we can go back to Juan Castillo and see the decline of this defense steadily over the years. Obviously, in 2017, we had a great defense. The defensive line was holding it down, and we had linebackers that could actually move around on the field. We look at players like Davion Taylor. We look at guys like TJ Edwards really stepping it up these past couple of weeks, which has been awesome and something that hopefully we can build upon. But realistically, I don't think we have the players that fit Jonathan Gannon's system. But saying that, you also have to say I don't think Jonathan Gannon is really working with the players he has. And it becomes a situation where you look at Detroit Lions, you look at that game, and you start thinking to yourself, why could we do it then when what I'm talking about is blitzing. What I'm talking about is sending our linebackers as extra guys to help this defensive line out. If we're doing it then, why couldn't we do it now? Why are you giving so much respect to these quarterbacks that we go against? I get it. A lot of these guys are great, and a lot of these guys do well under pressure. But at the same time, we've seen it with Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. We've seen it with Tom Brady a bunch of times in the Super Bowl in games that he's lost. If you can get him off his spot, you have a better chance. Same thing goes with Justin Herbert. Make him throw on the run. He's very athletic, don't get me wrong. But if you would have made him move off his spot, we didn't even touch him. We didn't even blow towards his direction. There was nobody next to him all game. You can't win football games like that. You look back at Derek Carr. Derek Carr, a lot of people are like, oh, he's trashed. He's really not. He's having a great year, and I give him that. I'll give him 100% of his flowers. Shout out to my girl, Get Me the Roses. But you know what I'm saying? I'll give him that. He is not a trash player. He's having an amazing season, and we continue to let him have that, and we did not get to him at all. So if you look at the games that we've been winning, it's not just that we're going against bad quarterbacks. It's that we're sending pressure. Outside of the Atlanta game, I think that's the only game we didn't necessarily send much pressure as far as our linebackers go. But if you look at if you look at even the San Francisco game, we were moving Jimmy Garoppolo off of his spot. Our offense just couldn't score. So you look at the games that we've done well, and it comes from blitzing. It comes from throwing exotic looks, even if it's just stunts on the defensive line. You can't just send your defensive linemen straight every single play and expect it to work. You know what I'm saying? The saying is insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. And I feel like that's where the Philadelphia Eagles have been in this whole season, realistically, outside of a couple of games. So if Jonathan Gannon's to do anything, it's to start throwing the caution towards the wind. Start giving up start giving up on your ways. If they're not working, start giving up on it. Give these players something that they feel comfortable doing. Ask your players, talk to them, see what they want to do, see what they feel comfortable with doing. We have a lot of young guys out there right now, especially with Darius Slay when he went down. You had Zach McPherson, you had Andre something that starts with a C. I'm not even going to try and say his last name. You know, you had Milton Williams out there a lot on extended reps. You obviously had Davian Taylor. You obviously had TJ Edwards out there. So you have a lot of young guys out there that could be the future of your team if you figure out what they're good at. You know what I'm saying? And to me, what they're not good at is giving up 10 yards off the rip and then trying to make a play. Like, nobody's going to be good at that. So it's just... and I said this earlier as well, we got upset with Jim Schwartz about his sticks defense, but at least his sticks defense was very situational. You know, it was on 3rd and longs. It wasn't every single play. And now I feel like it's every single play. We're just giving up too many yards just to start the game, just to start the play. You know, if you look at the every play, and that's why they were running so many screens, because you're giving Keenan Allen 3 or 4 yards of a head start before someone's even running towards him. So you just can't play football like that. Jonathan Gannon has to change up his scheme. He has to change up his philosophy, and it goes along with these players having to step up and be voices, right? Alex Singleton has a C on his chest. Be a voice. If you feel like, listen, I'm better at just pass rushing, be honest with that. If Darius Slade sees something that he doesn't like in the secondary, say something. These guys have to start talking. We have to figure out what we can do, and it's not about winning or losing this season. It's about moving forward and who you're going to put in this defensive scheme next year. You know, we can get all the top talent we want in the world, but if we're making Micah Parsons play 10 yards off the line, he's not going to be as effective as he's been this year, right? If we make Asante Samuels Jr. play 10 yards off of his man, he's not going to be one of the top-ranked rookie cornerbacks of the year. Obviously, he was hurt yesterday, but you know what I'm trying to say. You give any good player, any good talented player, a 10-yard cushion, they're going to win most of those times. So we have to change this philosophy, and it goes on to Jonathan Gannon, but it also goes on these players. Players have to be realistic with what they feel comfortable doing, and they have to voice that. Javon Hargrave did say, you know, when asked if he's why we aren't blitzing, he said he's not the defensive coordinator. You're not, but you are a major voice in this team. So I need these players to start speaking up. And if they are, then I need these coaches to start listening, you know? So it's a combination of everything. I think that things need to change, and they need to change quick. I think that's the most obvious statement anybody can make. But I just want to let you guys, I want to know what you guys think. Do you guys think that it's all on Jonathan Gannon? Do you think that it's all on the scheme? Do you think it's some of the players? Do you think it's just the players? How are you feeling right now about this defense? Do you think it's something we can even change moving forward? Or do you think this season is kind of, you know, out of the books now, and we just got to look towards the draft? Let me know in the comments. Be sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe. But other than that, y'all know what it is, man. It is Fly Eagles Fly, and we are out here. Peace!
Everywhere, this is for you.
Fly Eagles Fly on the team. Touchdown, time to get Jalen this ring. You don't really want to start a thing. This a Bird Gang Nation, baby. It's a Philly thing. Hater, and you looking like you type trash. I'm just here calling on Philly the podcast. And we can call a man dog or watch Miles score off the handoff. Rest of the division, your man saw Jackson like Sean, hunting like Randall. Season here, early time to do them in. Your boy Philly Fresco. Thanks for tuning in.